Grand Rising, good people. Happy Friday. As you're joining, please make sure that you are liking. That's going to help boost the algorithm, get as many people involved in these conversations as possible. Y'all know that's always the goal. So like as you're joining. And let's get into the show. We got a lot to discuss. Let's see who's already tapping in. We got Finn. Do your duty. Let's turn the music off. We're good. Do your duty, expect nothing, appreciate everything, act without complaint, speak without arrogance, live without regret. The Honorable Marcus Aurelius. Love it, Finn. Keep them coming every day. We need those to start off with the right energy. If you want to be wrong, follow the masses. Wow. If you want to be wrong, follow the masses. That is the perfect, I would say that's the perfect quote for a couple different videos that we have today, but that's probably the perfect quote for every show, right? If you want to be wrong, follow the masses. We're not following any people. We're not following any political party. What we follow are principles, morals, and values. And with that being said, as most of us, just being real, are sheep and would rather be fans of people, fans of political parties, fans of celebrities, fans of things, rather than just being guided and led by principles, morals, and values, that's going to be something that always comes up in our day-to-day lives. What are you following? Are you following people or are you following principles? And if you follow principles, more than likely, you're going to be all over the place as far as who you're agreeing with today, who you're agreeing with tomorrow, who you're disagreeing with today, who you're fighting with today. It just happens. But nonetheless, follow your principles. If no one is criticizing you, you're likely not taking bold steps, innovating, or leading, and that's not reaching your full potential, man. I've been seeing y'all showing some love. So shout out to Steve. Shout out to Finn. Shout out to Abuhan. I see y'all in those comments. I saw a few of them right before I got on. Didn't get a chance to respond yet, but y'all see them hating, man. They've been hating, but it's all good. I see it more as an insecurity, and that's what we're supposed to do. To acknowledge an issue, we first got to call it out. And sometimes you got to shine a light or, press that pain spot in people to let them know that, hey, this is an area that you may want to focus on. But we all have areas to improve on. It is what it is. Shout out to Omni in the building. Omni Stripe in the building, coming in strong with all of the videos that we're posting, man. Y'all are showing love. Trust me. It is appreciated. It is definitely appreciated. Shout out to Unk in the building. Unk just text me. Hold on. And Unk, what you text me, I didn't get to see the link, but it's funny. Unk said in a while, he said it's just a matter of time before they say this land is our land too. And y'all remember that song growing up? This land is your land. This land is my land. This land was made for, this land was made for you and me. Y'all remember that song? It's getting ugly out here. But that's why we're needed more than ever. So we're going to do our job, living our purpose. Shout out to Abuhan in the building. Big bro Steve, morning everyone, happy Friday. And of course, Abuhan, I didn't read it, said good morning. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. I gotta brush up on my Arab. Salam alaikum, my brother. Yes. Wow. Salam alaikum. I'm over here trying to pronounce the word. Yo, that was crazy. Yo, I don't know why the way that Unk just wrote it, it just seemed different. Salam alaikum. Like I've never even wa alaikum salam, Unk. Wa alaikum salam. And peace be unto you as well. See, I didn't have to brush up on it. You know how sometimes you're just reading something and you're like, salam alaikum. Wait, what? Wa alaikum salam, Unk. Wa alaikum salam. Good morning, Steve, and all in the early show. Oh man, Unk got me crying. That's funny. Oh, Abuhan wrote it too. See, it's the way he wrote it. It's the way Unc wrote it. Let me blame it on Unc. See, I'm like, wait, hold up. I don't know. Maybe it was that extra A got me. I don't know, but I think Unc wrote it the right way. It's just me. I'm just clowning. But that's funny, man. I'm over here like Salam. Yeah. Glay, what's good, Glay? How are you, Aki? Man, everybody's showing love. Shout out to Robert in the building. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yes, it is Friday, man. I need it to be Friday. It's been burning the candle at both ends this week, but not complaining. Good morning. Everybody got the good morning. Support your neighborhood Black Panther Party. I've been seeing the Black Panthers out. Hey, Glay, they probably heavy over in there in Georgia. I think you're on mute. Yeah, I've been seeing the Black Panther Party out a lot. Let's see. Pura Vida in the building. Is this channel female friendly? This channel is 100% female friendly. This is an inclusive channel. As long as you're coming with positive energy, it's all inclusive. So far, I felt as though women aren't particularly welcome. Aren't all opinions valuable? I'm not sure why. Pura Vida, have you? I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm wondering why you would think that this channel is not female friendly. Maybe saying stuff like that. That's exactly why we don't want women in the building coming in, starting off the show, getting all emotional and shit, making it about you. That's why we don't want you. I'm just joking. But yes, this is female friendly. Oh, man. Be honorable, keep ego at bay. Yeah, sometimes you got to take your own advice, Pura Vida. He who follows the herd only sees assholes. That's a good one. Shout out to Michelle in the building. How's Tennessee, Michelle? How are the grandkids? Omni said, ain't that the truth? What we got? Shout out to Samira in the building. Always a good show when Samira taps in. Trump is in the Epstein files big time, guys. It's all coming out and it's worse than anyone thought. Expose it. Let's expose it all. Shoot, let's expose it all. Hey, put it out there. Let's see. Hi, Steve. Thank you for saying hello to me. Hello to you. Good morning. Samira, everyone needs to research Sasha Riley after this today. Americans need to know. Oh, so is Sasha Riley the one that exposes or is directly related to Trump? Definitely let us know. We follow the truth, whether it is for us or against us. I think I've heard Malcolm seen that quote from Malcolm. Shout out to Abu Han for that quote, man. Appreciate it. All right, yeah. Let me keep going. Make sure that we showing love to everybody. I think, y'all in the chat heavy. I love that. Shout out to Mama Lay, female friendly for sure. I'm here, and Mama Lay sent me some dope videos. We're gonna watch the last video that you sent, and that kind of is what gave Mama Lay. You've been responsible for the last 2 titles of the shows. Ooh. You've been solely responsible for the last 2 titles of the show. So that video that you sent, the last one, that's what reminded me and kind of prompted the title of the show. This is a test, Glay. This is a test. You know how after practice or after every game we used to get the scores? Mm-hmm. A lot of people probably don't know that.
I forgot all about that.
Glay, you still muted, I think, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. But after the games, after every football game, college, NFL, nah. After the games, we used to always get tests. Like, you actually get a score about how well you played. You get notes. You get graded on every play, actually. A lot of people aren't aware of that. You get graded on every single play, just like you get graded on every single question on the test. So... Pura Vida, I got you. It's all love. Shout out to Bubbles. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Who is Bubbles? Shout out to Bubbles. I believe Bubbles is new, so welcome. Let's see. All right. I think we got everybody. All right. Whoa, Samira wrote. Samira, I have to ask. I'm sorry. Is that a fact? Is that a fact, or is that respectfully? Is that a fact, or is that an opinion? And if you have videos, Abuhan, I think you could send the videos right in the chat. If not, hold on. If you can't send the videos in the chat, then you can send them on Discord, but just give me the heads up, because I'll play the video. We'll pull up the videos, no problem. We will pull up the videos, no problem. Let me make sure I put the Discord link in. But yeah, so Samira said that is a fact. Samira, do you have any videos on that? Or any I'm open to discuss that. If you have a video, I mean, I haven't seen anything, but I'm open to definitely discussing that. But let's yeah, so you send it over. If you want to put the link in the chat, that's cool. And yeah, great vibes always, Pure Vita. Great vibes always. So Bubble said, I always listen, not always comment. Well, it is greatly appreciated that you always listen, and it's greatly appreciated that now you're getting into the chat. So that's appreciated, man. So let's make sure we have a good convo today. Reginald. See my Unc done through the Unc got me questioning everything how I read it now. What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man? What's going on, Reginald? Good to see you. All right, what we're gonna start with today, Glad? You got anything on your chest that you want to get off? I don't know if you off mute yet, but I got a couple different videos that are funny, and I think it just highlights where we are in society right now. So this was, I believe, Josh Hawley. I'm gonna make sure I'm pronouncing stuff right. And this is Dr. Nisha Verma. And I'd like to just show y'all this conversation. So this is Senator Josh Hawley. I believe he's of Missouri. And let me share the screen with y'all, just so we can get a reminder of the things that we're still debating in this world, the things that are still up for discussion. And it's always nice to just poke a little fun at the Democrats and liberals. Since we've been roasting Trump a lot lately, it's always fun to just remind the Democrats and liberals, like, hold on now. We can be critical of Trump, yes, but y'all were never critical of your presidents. You were never critical of your wild and crazy stances when it comes to a lot of this wokeness. So it's always a good reminder to say, humble yourself. You know what I mean? You had a president that was sleeping the entire time and literally going through probably early signs of dementia or whatever you want to call it. Maybe, I don't even know if it was early signs at that point. So let's just remind ourselves, all right, with all that energy that we got towards Trump, y'all voted for somebody that you wouldn't trust to babysit. And now that Samira wrote what she just wrote, probably wouldn't trust Trump to babysit either, but it's for different reasons. All right, let's get into this video. Let's take a look. Make sure it's on the screen. All right, y'all let me know what y'all think.
Mr. Chairman, since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
Many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor,
totally
I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant, biological men? Can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes, no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think
when we look around at the craziness that's going on, everything that we're witnessing, everything that we're experiencing in this society, it almost just makes you look around and say, where are the adults in the room? Where are the adults in the room? This is where we've gotten. This is how serious, and I don't know what sparked this. I don't know whether it was the LGBTQ movement. I assume it was more of the T's in the LGBTQ movement, but this is insane. This is what sparked the whole boys and women's sports. This is what sparked, we're going to look at a clip from Gavin Newsom having a conversation with Ben Shapiro after this. This whole, with parents not telling, or with teachers not having to tell parents that their kids are transitioning. Like, this is demonic. The fact that we can't have doctors, it's like if we can't establish just some type of understanding, like she said, based on science, not politics, then what are we doing? I remember watching like Mark Lamont Hill, these super intelligent people, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a journalist. I think Mark Lamont Hill, I believe he has his doctorate as well. And you ask these people simple questions. Can men get pregnant? Or what is a woman? And they just freeze up. Y'all the reason why so many people, I'm not blaming y'all for well, damn, y'all are the reason. And this is what we talked about yesterday when we said, if you lump people in a group, this is what happens when you lump people in a group, because you get all the Democrats on one side, you get all the Republicans on one side. So now all the Democrats, that I'm assuming that 90% of Democrats probably would be able to answer this question, no problem. But because you lump everybody into one category, now it's like, okay, that 90% kind of has to just agree with this aspect of it. The 90% kind of has to just agree with the fact, like, okay, we should let boys in women's sports. We should be pushing these agendas. We should have these books in school libraries describing how boys commit sexual acts on other boys. All of these different things. We should have drag queens reading books to kids in the library. You have to agree with it. This is what happens. This is how they lump all this stuff in. It's like, you know how they put out those bills and the bill will have a name? Like, let's say the bill will have a name about healthcare, but then it'll also have something in the bill that has absolutely nothing to do with healthcare that they'll just kind of push through with that bill. And then when the argument ensues, it's like, oh no, well, this is, you voted against healthcare. Well, there's other things in that bill that have absolutely nothing to do with it. So I'm just using that as an example. I'm not even thinking about any specific situation. But this is what happens when you lump yourself into a group. When we lump ourselves into groups, we start to get these extremes that we now have to take on with the overall group. So we got all this sensible stuff, but then we just kind of push that to the side and just embrace this completely irrational. It's crazy. It's crazy. Glay, what is a woman?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I saw this clip.
No, what is a woman?
A female, a person that can produce children. Simple as that.
Okay, so what if
we're gonna go deeper than that?
Has the organs. All right, so a woman. Let me be clear, because I'm gonna tell you why you have to go deeper, because of people like her. because they're gonna, well, if I'm a woman and I struggle to get pregnant, am I still a woman? You get where I'm going? A woman is a person that was born with female genitalia, a vagina. A man is somebody that was born with a penis. Simple as that. But these doctors, they go to school, and this is a perfect example of, even when we talk about like people's experience, and a lot of people leaning on their experience, and when they have conversations with younger people and say, listen, that young person doesn't know anything. It's almost like the more you're in this society, the dumber you become. It's almost like if you don't watch out, if you're not very careful about the information that you're consuming, it's like the more we live in this society, we think that we're getting smarter. No, we're getting dumbed down. Go ahead, Glay. Let me hear it. Let me listen for it. Yeah, you good. You good.
All right. Yeah.
You good.
No, I agree, man. I saw this clip yesterday. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah. You want me to keep going, or you got any?
Oh, you already played it.
Oh, my fault. You want me to? Yeah. Well, they're in the middle of it. They're in the middle of the conversation.
Okay,
so I'll keep going.
Good. Yeah.
You're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with.
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also.
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there.
Glay, but I just want to be clear, and this is not just about this particular topic for me, but what this is about is just a reminder of the people that are giving us medicine, the people that are writing white papers to determine whether or not a particular medicine is good, sponsored by the actual people who are making the medicine, ironically. When it comes to staying in this kind of lane, something that I was thinking about, like birth control. Something that we grow up just accepting, giving to a lot of our young girls, destroying their bodies. Like when you actually look at the damage that birth control does to a lot of young girls, and it's just a part of the whole non-conservative, I'm not even going to say liberal, but it's a part of the whole liberal, young kids having sex, be free, all this stuff. Oh, so just take your birth control, all that. It's destroying our bodies. And these are the doctors, the quote unquote scientists that we're relying on to make sure that we're not putting dangerous things in our body. And this is just another example of why we cannot trust any of these people. It's ridiculous. They, just like we determine, and we talk about this a lot on the show, we allow our politics to determine whether or not a situation is right or wrong. Renee Good. Okay, well, what are the Republicans saying about that? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm more aligned with them. So yeah, Renee Good, she's justified in getting shot. Compared to just looking at the situation and saying, yeah, this is wild. Like, why did he just shoot her? Wasn't necessary. Pretty obvious to me, but hey, I guess everybody's has their own perspective. Cool. But this is the same exact. It's just Glay, what you think, man? Step in here.
I think it's so hard to give even people that credibility or that the opportunity to even really think independently. This is what we kind of run off from yesterday, where it's like tribalism and picking political parties. Like, these are why these people join groups, and they join with people that don't necessarily even align with their values, because I'm questionable whether or not people have values. I think they do whatever the guys, the cool cats, are doing in class. And so when you get a doctor like this, she knows she can pick one answer or another. And to be quite honest with you, it'd be easier if she just said yes or no. But why there's a battle? Because there's a battle between what she knows personally and what she wants to be caught on camera or in a courtroom, or what her clients will say. And so her tribalism is pulling her one way, but her logic is pulling her another. And so she tries to find a place in the middle where it's like, well, I'm not technically saying no, but I ain't technically saying yes. And this is where people tend to try to be aligned with things because they can't think independently. Whoever said the only thing you see is in a herd is people's assholes, you're absolutely right. This is a great example of somebody who needs to be affiliated with doctors, who needs to be affiliated with the left or the right or whatever that may be, who is now put in a position to make decisions. And as you see, isn't confident when make decisions. A lot of people are not leaders. We overestimate how people who can make decisions and be willing to accept what comes with it, good or bad, are leaders. And people that are indecisive, as we see here, it doesn't matter how many degrees you get, nor does it matter how much money you get. It doesn't make you a person who is confident at accepting responsibility, whether you are right or wrong. And this is a great example of an individual who has been compromised. Regardless of those two letters in front of her name, it doesn't change who she is.
100%. I'm doubling down on everything that Glay just said. Everything that you just said, I'm doubling down on. And this, and you brought up actually a good point that I wasn't even looking at it from this angle. She won't answer it one way or another. Like, she's not even sitting here saying like, okay, if you think men can get pregnant, then stand on it. Say men can get pregnant. But you have to be able to answer. This is science. This is not like, isn't this what science is?
That's what we thought.
There's a theory, you test it out, and then you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why it's almost like with a lot of this stuff, like, shouldn't this be a violation of the Hippocratic Oath in a lot of ways? Like, this should be a violation when you're spewing this type of stuff. You should lose some type of like ability to serve the people when you go up here and you spew rhetoric like this, like where you're not just willing to answer a question about something simple that is scientific, where you're allowing your political affiliations or your feelings for certain patients to get involved in, or get in the way of you actually just saying what science is. It's think about what we're discussing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We're discussing whether or not men can get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
About that, bro.
You heard her response. My clients. This is political. This is money. This is money. This is how am I going to be seen? I'm not ready for the backlash. Like, it's all that. People are getting pressure. This is compromise. The medical industry has been compromised by politics, big pharma, and dollar signs. They have compromised doctors. And so regardless if she was a doctor at one point that would say it, clearly she has seen maybe people get either isolated or kicked off the board or whatever it may be. But that oath, like you said, that oath that you take has been compromised officially now. Oh, should I? Am I off, Glay? Or is that you?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I muted it for a sec.
Yeah. So
I almost want to look up the Hippocratic Oath real quick.
Okay.
Hippocratic Oath. Hold on. And this is the thing. Just like when we call out the good cops or the bad cops, you know what I'm saying? The good cops and bad cops. Where are the doctors that are calling this stuff out? You know what I'm saying? And I know there are, but why aren't people stepping on this type of stuff? Like this is just a direct violation. So let me read. So it says the Hippocratic Oath is an oath of ethics historically taken by physicians. It is one of the most widely known of Greek medical texts. In its original form, it requires a new physician to swear by a number of healing gods to uphold specific ethical standards. The oath is the earliest expression of medical ethics in the Western world. Interesting. I didn't establishing several principles of medical ethics, which remain, hold on, I don't feel like going all the way to Wikipedia. All right, hold on, let me see. Which remain of paramount significance today. These include the principles of medical confidentiality and maleficence. Hold on, man. Y'all giving me these. I'm not spelling this. My pronunciation is off today. As the foundational expression. Yo, you know what it sounds like? Remember we used to do those book readings with Pete and Shaka and them? And when they be getting these words, like, yo, what is this word? Foundational expression of certain principles that continue to guide and inform medical practice. The ancient text is of more than historic and symbolic value. It is enshrined in the legal statutes of various jurisdictions, such that violations of the oath may carry criminal or other liability beyond the oath's symbolic nature. Yeah, I'm not with that, bro. And this is the thing, and it always comes back to this because this is just the most recent situation. But I have to go back to 2020. Do you know how hard it was? Do you remember how hard it was just to have conversations when it comes to, hey, you may not want to take that. Like, I know the doctors are saying it, like Fauci and whatnot, but you know, maybe you want to do your own research. And how people were villainized for going against the jab that people are putting in their arms that they're now finding out are causing a whole lot of harm. But what did they do? They told you, go get this shot, go get these boosters, go do and now look. Thank God that it hasn't impacted, I obviously have family members who have taken it. I'm very thankful that it hasn't impacted them in a negative way. But there are a lot of other people that it has. There are a lot of women that I've heard that are struggling with, getting pregnant when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So I just don't get, and it's not necessarily about that. It's about the fact that, remember when you couldn't even have a conversation about it?
It's not a safe space.
Yeah, they politicized it to the point, and that's what a lot of this medicine. Think about the stuff that we take. Think about the stuff that we take on a regular basis. They are pushing Ozempic to people. Ozempic is destroying people. It's destroying people.
And I see people daily express how they're considering going to take it,
bro,
knowing the side effects.
Doctors. I know doctors taking this stuff, and I'm like, yo, like, who's calling this stuff out? If the doctors aren't willing to call it out, get your lazy ass up and go for a walk.
Simple as that.
Go work out.
Simple as that.
You think that there's a shortcut to getting healthy, bro? You're destroying your insides. Like, you're starving yourself. You're in ways like, even if you want to starve yourself, okay, don't eat. Don't eat. You taking these pills? These pills are these drugs are not even pills. These shots or however people are taking this medicine, they're destroying your body. But we've just grown up in a society that is accustomed to, oh, well, the medical experts said that it's cool. Serena Williams said that it's cool. Oprah said that it's cool. Yeah, it's good.
I mean, to be honest, they didn't care if they said it was cool. They were just concerned if it was legal.
Yeah.
Niggas was taking steroids and that shit. They knew what the side effects on that. And it ain't never stopped the steroid industry.
Yeah.
Now they've created something called the steroid games, where they let athletes allowed to take, whatever steroids they decide to take, testosterone, HGH, THC, or not THC, but whatever other ones. And they compete to just kind of see like the human, like how far the human can go, et cetera, et cetera. It's like we spoke about this yesterday and in the past couple of days. Atlanta champions violating their people. It's just they're okay with accepting it. Or not Atlanta, America. America's okay violating the people. And to be honest, the people don't care, bro. Yeah. You can't take nothing that ain't nobody telling you to take. And I keep assuming that it is brainwashed majority of the times, but I think it's a mix. I don't know how much the mix is, but half the people don't give a fuck. And the other half of the people don't know. And we bundle them all together and assume the half that don't know are majority stakes. I don't agree, bro. I think a good chunk of the people that do these things, like Dr. Verma, she knows, but she's compromised. You know what I mean? And all these other things. So it's just like, I think these people are looking for the shortcut. It's worth their life. We're just looking at it from a sense where it's like, look, we're not going to let you harm yourself because we appreciate and we you know what I'm saying, we cherish not only our life but your life as well too. But those same people don't have the same reflection as they do that we have on them, on themselves. And so this is why they're willing to be like, I mean, if I could pop, I'll be okay. I'll take the jab for the job. I'll be okay. Like, it's constantly different situations in which people are voluntarily choosing to violate themselves. We just expect that the government wouldn't be one of the opponents that the American people would have to duck and dodge bullets from. But welcome here. This is the land of the free, aka you can freely do whatever the fuck you want, and we can freely extort you. We can freely violate you. We can freely do whatever we want in order to accept and obtain money, and that's up to you. You have a choice. We don't force anything on you but them taxes, but you have a choice. And what you do with that, regardless of the propaganda or the lies that we put out into society, that's on you. So you got to do double work to know. And then you got to do double work to make sure that you protect your family and et cetera from these people. But it's just like a lot of these people don't care. A lot of these girls, I was training a lot of these girls, they don't care, bro. They hopping on that shit. They not tripping. The same people that tell me, look, I ain't really got the money to train, I see on GLP, and I'm like, bro, that shit like a band a month for one shot or so. How the hell where the money come from? Because they willing to do that.
And in America, they upcharge it. It's something crazy where they were looking at the prices. I think it's in America where the prices are much higher. I think that, matter of fact, Trump was getting at that, where they charge dumb Americans even more because they know we're just the easiest ones to just feed with some propaganda. And what gets me is these are the same people that don't trust the government. It's like, how do you, like, you're putting something in your body. If you were asked a question about whether you or not you trust the government, like you would say no. But then you just trust these experts that work directly with the government and big pharma, like they're like stuck in between. It's like, why would you like? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So when you see that in between situation, it goes to show you, bro. People, 2026. You know my motto. Everybody know.
Everybody know. Oh, everybody know. They just rather do it rather than not do it. Oh, what's everybody else doing? You remember how you in class and the teacher asked y'all a question like, who likes this? Or who thought this is the movie? And you start looking around to figure out whether you're going to raise your hand based on what everybody else is doing. It's like, bro, if you don't stop looking around and just answer the question,
yeah.
Like everybody's always influenced by somebody else, but that's what a lot of this stuff is, man.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. A lot of this stuff is, bro. People aren't willing to do. This is how these trends pick up. You know what I mean? This is how the GLP is a trend. That's what they on right now. That's the new hot wave. You get a couple pop culture influencer. You throw Kim Kardashian on it. You put, Serena Williams on it. They know the majority of Americans ain't gonna do their due diligence, to be quite honest. And if we move the needle, if we move it even past that, most Americans don't care, bro. They wake up and they're not passionate about nothing. They're not passionate about their life. They're not passionate about their religion. They're not passionate about their family. They're not passionate about majority of the things that they're affiliated with. So these people, these marketing gurus that can spend millions on top of millions to go obtain a Serena Williams, who blows my mind that you can sit up here and be on a Buick commercial and do things and speak about black little girls and all that other shit that I was falling victim to, like, yo, she one of the solid ones. And then see you turn around, hit reverse for the check for some bullshit like that. I can't even speak of her anymore because I'm so disgusted of how she's been compromised when she had a check, aka Americans have been taught that if you violate people for money, it is fucking okay. If you dating a girl and you rich as hell and you violate her, women has constantly said it's okay because they signed right back up with that athlete that you know got a record for acting foolish. You know he got 6 or 7 kids, but if he got money, you can violate me. People are compromised when it comes to financial advantage or things of that nature. And so I'm not surprised that we're seeing what we're seeing because money. Dr. Verma is violated, but she is compromised for money, financial gain. America stands on those principles. And so I think we look at people in hindsight that they have the same baseline understanding of these things and are not willing to go down this, not willing to compromise themselves or whoever. But it's just like we need to constantly remind ourselves. And remember, 2026, niggas know.
They know. They know. And yo, you saw what Steve wrote? Americans take 80% of the world's pharmaceuticals with 5% of the total population.
Damn.
I just heard that as Americans are the dumbest people in the world. Like that's the only way that I could take that. The dumbest people in the world. We take pharmaceuticals, not even like we have Chat GPT now. We've had Google. You can literally, do you not realize what the quote unquote scientists are doing? The doctors, they're studying nature. They're studying what the medicine of nature, and then they're creating a fake pill off of it. They're genetically modified. It's like if somebody would, do you want a GMO steak? Do you want a GMO burger? But you're perfectly fine with GMO medicine. Like, bro, it's in nature. They're studying nature. That's how they're coming up with the actual vaccines. They're coming up with the things, the medicines, the things that they prescribe, all the drugs, the pharmaceuticals across the board. But we just get so caught up. We will literally take a medicine and like just reading the side effects in a lot of these medicines. It's like, why would you take that? The side effects are damn near worse than what you're going through. Matter of fact, the side effects are worse than what you're actually trying to heal. It's like you're going to take, let me take this diabetes medicine rather than just, start being healthy. Let me take this diabetes medicine or this high blood pressure medicine. The side effects are, you could do this, you could do that, or you could die, or you could do, yeah, I'll take, I can still eat fried chicken. All right, yeah, cool. Let's sign me up. It's ridiculous, bro. It's just ridiculous, but it just shows how simple-minded a lot of us are. And continuing with this same lane of conversation, Gavin Newsom sat down with Ben Shapiro, but I'll let you get the last words on that last video, and then we'll move into this one.
Oh yeah, I mean everything. I think we really hit every nail on its head. But yeah, it's just like I don't think people don't not know. I think what we're speaking of now, I think the conversation now moves forward is like, all right, knowing that y'all do know the side effects, how are you able to still do these things that put you in harm's way? Mm-hmm. What about you don't you cherish? What about you don't you care about? What about you doesn't instill confidence that you can do it without this situation, although you know the side effects? Why do you want the short route? What do you want the short route in life? Do you want the easy route in life in general? Are you successful? Are you a person that's concerned about what people in the classroom think about you, or what your people think about you, what people around you think about you? Are you concerned about what people on social media think about you? Like, it keeps getting down to a deeper and deeper rooted issue with Americans as a whole. But if, like Steve said, if 80%, or if we're utilizing 80% of the stuff, then that goes to show you how America isn't training people to be any better than that statistics that we're seeing here. Whatever the system is exactly how they built it so they can continue to benefit from it. They're winning. Bingo. Hit the football right through the uprights. And so if American people aren't interested in waking up or making better choices for their health, making better choices in holding doctors accountable, holding our religious figures accountable, holding our politicians accountable. Dog, if you want to come to America and just make some bullshit and get your shit off, come on down. They don't care. If it's quick, if it's fast, if it's easy. If you can hop on Instagram and they say they can clean your credit in 3 days, nigga, they gonna pay. If you give me your social security and all. If a deal sounds too wild and crazy, they ready. If you give them a little fake ass guarantee, they ready. Like, you ain't really gotta do much. You ain't really gotta say much. You ain't really gotta. You can just cap. Somebody always getting their money stolen. Somebody always was like these cats be violating. I think with the elites have just made a decision. It's like, look, man, if I don't take their money, what the fuck they gonna do with it? That's what they saying in them rooms. They saying, look, man, I'm better off with that money than he is. My family, my lineage, my legacy is better off with this bread than these American people. Most of them are gonna try to take a easy way out. Is that my fault? This is how they rationale with themselves in them rooms.
They got the choice. They got the choice to take it.
They got the choice to take it. Look, I'm not forcing nobody to take the easy route. They know it. Hey, it's illegal for me not to speak to you about the side effects, but look, we already know they don't care about that. They don't care about that stuff. So it just don't matter. They value McDonald's over the healthy food, et cetera, et cetera. So they won that battle. People psychologically will talk themselves into why the dollar menu is better than going home and just making you a burger. It's easier. They're looking for convenience, bro. When you see some of these people raise kids, they don't be cooking for all 6 of them kids. They find a way to go grab it to go through a bag. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just wild to just see these people and individuals not do what's best, although they know it. But like, once you hit a certain age, bro, they can kind of do what they want. And I think what we're speaking about now is like, damn, these are the choices that people are choosing to make. And the ChatGPT is here, bro. Internet is here. People that are going against the grain are here. They are speaking of these topics, and y'all still choose this route. So it's just like, damn, it's a breathtaking to me how you just don't give a flying F, bro, at all. But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Our next president. Let's take a look at this conversation. Ben Shapiro and our next president.
Why does the parent not have an absolute moral ability to receive that information? And why is there not a requirement? There should be a requirement for teachers to turn over that information.
Health and safety is a requirement.
So just to be clear, to give context, because it may not, this is talking about how in California, Gavin Newsom has the law that we've talked about a while ago, or for a while, that if a kid goes to school and is transitioning and is identifying as a different gender, the teachers aren't obligated to tell the parents. So, yeah.
There should be a requirement for teachers to turn over that information.
Health and safety is a requirement.
If a teacher truly believes that a parent is a threat to a child, they can report it to child services.
Yeah, so health and safety is still the standard. So you maintain that standard. That standard is the law.
That's a lot of wiggle room for a teacher to apply.
Well, it's a lot of law in terms of the weight of that law and that responsibility to take care of it, make sure your kids are safe. But this idea that Trump says people are going to public schools and coming back, having surgeries and coming back the next day is absurd.
No, but there are certainly cases in which kids are being quote unquote socially transitioned at school without parents knowing about it. I know some of the parents to whom this has happened. I mean, this is the fundamental question that lies at the root of all of this is the question that you're not wanting to answer, which is whether boys can become girls.
Yeah, I think I'm for the grace of God. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the sympathy. I also feel terrible for. Listen,
what did he answer? God.
Is whether boys can become girls.
Yeah, I think I'm for the grace of God. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the sympathy. I also feel terrible for. Listen, anybody who's suffering with any sort of.
I mean, I think it's been the case for generations, for time immemorial. God bless. I don't know how.
Why is this a hard one? I just don't understand.
Because I don't know why it's such a. Why is it such a? I'm curious. I understand the political potency of it.
It's not just political.
Sorry that the words are a bit off. I don't know if y'all are peeping that. Sorry about that, but the audio's obviously good.
Politically potent.
But it just how. it's so few. We're talking
Because
about
then
so few people.
It's not about the
that are struggling with gender identity issues. A lot of remarkable people, a lot of wildly successful people, and they've gone on their life, have incredible lives. I don't know. There's so much hate and bigotry, so much condemnation, so much judgment.
This is the part where I start to object.
Yeah.
Okay. The idea that
you may not be spewing it.
No.
Like some others. Trust me.
But the
this is the business they're in.
There are lots of terrible people who say lots of terrible things, but
yes.
It is not an act of bigotry to say that a boy cannot become a girl, nor should my children be taught in K through 12 public schools that a boy can become a girl.
Yeah.
That is not an act of bigotry. That's an act of rationality and biological simplicity.
I respect your point of view. And,
but good people,
good people disagree on this.
I know, but
and a lot of states, not just California, well-established rules, by the way, that predate me. Again, this is not where I started. We're campaigning and advocating on these issues, as some suggest. Look, I'm with the Governor Spencer Cox, who said about many of these issues, never so much attention been placed on so few people.
The problem is, I do think that on an electoral level, to go to the politics, it is a barrier to entry for a lot of people. When
I
you
agree
say,
with that.
When you say a boy can become a girl, and then just on a real.
This is so disingenuous because he's acting as if it's so few people, but that number is growing because of the woke culture pushing and promoting this to kids. There's a reason why the number of LGBTQ and especially with the T's have grown tremendously, but across the board. They're promoting it. They're branding it to young kids that are obviously very impressionable. Like this is, he's trying to downplay this issue because it's just not a good look for him. And it's like, here I am agreeing with Ben Shapiro, whatever. But it's just, it doesn't matter. It's just, this is who may become our next president. This is who may become our next president. And it's like, what are these people thinking? Like, who are you protecting when it comes to this type of stuff? Here you have, and I think he's going to reference Bruce Jenner in this. I'm not sure if it's this video or another, but here you have like Bruce Jenner, and Bruce Jenner has been one of the #1 people coming out actually against boys playing sports against girls, just because he obviously understands that there's an unfair advantage. Like it is Bruce Jenner, one of the greatest athletes perhaps ever. But why do such intelligent people just seem to not have a certain, I can't even say an understanding on this, but why are they being so disingenuous when it comes to this?
Compromise, bro. Bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
He in the wrong state to pop anything other than what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He go that way, that whole side of the country going up in flame. You know, Cali kind of do whatever. They had a super woke culture out there. And so he can't do that. And watch what he do. When he get up in the office, he gonna switch the whole motherfucker up, bro. This is what they do. They just do. They be who they gotta be to get to where they want to get.
Right.
And so he know what's up. He know what he's saying. Wow. And look, I'm a challenge Ben Shapiro, because in too many points, Ben Shapiro want to make it seem like this is just so 1 + 1 = 2. But then in so many situations, when we speak about the culture and the Jewish this and the Jewish that, he want to act like, oh no, that just doesn't make no sense. Now, when you saying what you saying, bro, you're compromised. You're looking to get an advantage, whether that be politically or financially. And so we get up here wondering why are they fighting? What are they doing? This ain't nothing but WCW matches going on, and people are writing the script and they're doubling down on who they feel like they need to double down on in order to benefit something. So the truth lies somewhere in there. But as you see, and as we've noticed, even with this podcast, that if you don't align yourself with the left and you don't align yourself with the right, and if you find yourself in the middle, you're an easy target for both sides to dislike you. And that's what we're seeing. These people are choosing tribalism because that's the way to move up in the ranks in America. You have to say some outlandish shit to get support from the people that are outlandish. You have to say shit that is racist in order to get the support from the people that are racist. But have you ever tried about just being logical, ethical, humane, respectful, anywhere down the middle, Just treating a human like a human, there's no space for that for America based on what we continue to see. They don't like that. They want violation. And whatever you choose, America says you can do whatever side you want. You can be a criminal and we'll idolize you, Al Capone, the mob, and all these other people, or you can be a person that does it the other way. We give you free range to do whatever you want. Just know if you get too big, we come in and knock on that door and get some from you. These people violated, bro. This is politics. They know they have to pick a side because, like what you said yesterday, when they separate us separately, there's only two people you have to fight with. You don't have to impress the whole squad now. Just impress your side. That's what David Newsom is doing. He is on one side, which he's in Cali and whatever the woke culture is out there. He is trying to what? He is trying to be attractive to them. He don't give a fuck about the other side who is being logical or he's going to call them the right and all that other stuff. No, he is trying to be a person of leadership to that left side. And this is why we continue to bump our heads and be like, yo, these cats are some of the smartest people we've ever speak. How are you? What are we talking about here? It's because they see an opportunity to take advantage and violate people because America says if you can violate one group, the other group will support you.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is. It's about appealing to kids, giving them ice cream rather than giving them vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's all just an appeal game. But yeah, I'm with you 100% on all this, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, spooky out here. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I respect if that's your barrier to then listening to people on a myriad of other issues. So be it. It is what it is.
I just find it strange that even if you wish to have a public policy that pursues something different, we cannot just admit that boys and girls are two different things and that a boy cannot become a girl. Why is this so difficult?
Yeah, I understand your point of view,
and
I also respect Caitlyn Jenner. I do.
I understand your point of view, but I also respect Caitlyn Jenner. What does this have to do with respecting somebody? Caitlyn Jenner is a man. It doesn't matter what she like. She's a he. Here I go. She's a he. Caitlyn Jenner's a man, bro. It doesn't matter what you do. You're a man. You're a man. Like this is who may become our president. That a lot of people probably watching this, especially a lot of people are going to vote for him. A lot of people are going to vote for him.
That's his campaign.
That's his
campaign. That's how these cats get into office, bro. They chasing the chat. They don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
Pure Vita got my number today. Like, Beanie, are you a
I don't know.
you a boss or something? And then now it's like, wake up, the guy in the top corner, Pure Vita. Okay, bro. I believe that's the lady, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being active in the space. Let's just continue to have good in faith conversation. Like, I hear you, I see you, I see your comments. We hear you. So let's let you know I hear you loud and clear. You got my attention.
You know what's funny? It's like we complain about the Epstein files, right? Well, oh my God, Donald Trump, he's hiding the Epstein files. I've called that out as well. But it's so funny how people that supposedly care about the Epstein files don't care about these kids being harmed. Don't care about this type of thing getting pushed on these kids, which multiple people have come out and said how when you transition, all the issues that destroyed that person because they went through this process that they thought that they were 100% sold on, and then they get this process or they get this surgery or even from a social standpoint, and it just destroys them. This is destroying a lot of young kids. And this is why it just becomes political. Y'all don't really care about the Epstein files as far as what it did to those kids. Y'all just care about it because it's just a shot that you could take at Trump. Because if you really cared about it, you would have pressed Joe Biden or Barack Obama to release the files, who they could have released it. Mm-hmm. So don't act like on your moral high ground, like oh my God, Donald Trump. The only reason why I ripped Donald Trump from doing it is because he said that he was going to do it, and now he's completely backtracked on it. But let's not act like Joe Biden couldn't release these things as well.
So I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Joe Biden could have released them as well.
I didn't know it went back. You said it went back even further to Obama.
I believe Obama could have released these.
Damn.
Hold
Okay.
on. Let me hold on. Let me see exactly. Definitely Joe Biden.
Biden minimum. Okay.
Depending on, I guess, the timing, but I believe that a lot of this stuff could have been released with. Let's just leave it at Biden for now. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You do not care about this. Is just everything has been politicized. Everything has been politicized.
Everything
and it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. When you have these groups, it's just easy to do. It's very easy to do.
Everything is compromised, my boy.
Yeah.
We too logical for America doesn't operate on logic. It operates on politics. So it's not about what you're saying. It's about when you're deciding to say it and who you're representing when you do say it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Agreed.
just like, yeah, it's you know, it's just every industry, bro. What is not compromised? We talk about religion damn near every week. Politically compromised. We talk about food, drug administration, health, compromise. We talk about education, compromise. What's left?
Mm-hmm. And Unc said that Epstein got arrested after. So he got arrested after Obama. But Joe Biden could have definitely released these files. Barack Obama could have pushed Joe Biden to release these files, just like he was pushing black people to just vote. Hey, the brothers, you go vote for Kamala Harris. So the point is that the Democrats and Republicans, this is all political, and then what ends up happening is because they make it political, we just look at it from a political stance, we the people, and we just make these silly arguments acting like we care about kids. Now, Samira, I see Samira in the chat. Samira, I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm saying overall, if you care about kids, how are you not calling out this type of stuff? Mm-hmm. How are you not calling out
all those presidents, all those people in power that can do what it takes, but they compromise? You showed us yesterday when Obama can sit up there and sip on that water, compromised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But these are the people that we look up to and worship. It goes back to that player-agent relationship. You know, we thought it was so cool. Like, yo, I got an agent. My agent told me to do this. Like, hey, man, fuck that agent, bro. I tell the agent what to do. You're not doing your job. And I wish I would have had more of that mindset, you know, when I had one. Do your job, bro. Shut up. Stop. Don't text me until you have a workout for me. Do your job. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with the presidents. It's the same thing with the politicians. We need to force them to do their job and represent us, rather than them just finessing us based on politicizing everything, tapping into our emotions, getting us all riled up with the fear mongering and everything else, to the point where we have dumbed ourselves down completely. So, yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Compromised.
Yeah, that's all it is. Do we need to finish this convo? Let's move on. Let's move on. So this was an interesting video. You remember this video that we played the other day?
Yeah, that's the guy that supports. He's kind of like opposite of what we were thinking, right?
So initially when he came out with the Renee Good video,
but then
initially he came out and he was saying that, I mean, I don't want to go back and play all the videos, but initially he came out and only criticized Renee Good, didn't say anything about the officer, made it seem as if the officer was perfectly fine. Then he put out a video saying like, hey, I apologize. I made a mistake. I was extremely critical of Renee Good and her actions, but I was not critical of the officer's actions. And he still, like, he didn't go all the way and say like, yeah, that officer, you know, this is murder. Like that was wrong what the officer did. He more so was saying like, well, if the officer walked in, whatever, he apologized. But now this is his response to apologizing, because what ended up happening, he's getting ready to explain, this is the reason why people who are why politicians, and I would say people as well, why we never just admit when we're wrong about something. This is his stance on that, and just giving some feedback to what happened after he decided to put out that apology video and correct his statements.
You want to know why politicians lie and never take accountability? Let me tell you a story. Last week, I posted 2 videos about the Minneapolis ICE killing of Renee Good. I'm someone who has a right-leaning bias. I also try to be fair and acknowledge other perspectives because I think regardless of what your position is, if we can't even understand each other, we're not going to get anywhere. In my first take, I was very critical of Renee Good, and I didn't scrutinize ICE's behavior pretty much at all. And I rushed, honestly. It was like caught up in the heat of the moment, and I rushed to give my take, and I thought I represented what she did wrong well, but I did not represent what the ICE officer did wrong. Then a friend sent me a video. It was a New York Times breakdown frame by frame of what happened. And even though I believe that they were incorrect in their conclusion, they revealed something that caused me to think a second thought. They showed that the officer crossed in front of the vehicle as the vehicle was moving. You're not supposed to do that as an officer. The reason why is because it endangers both you and the person in the car. Because in this country, more cops are actually killed by cars than firearms. And sometimes it's by people who are intentionally trying to kill the cop with their car. But other times it's because someone is panicking and trying to flee and hits a cop. So if you're a cop and you cross in front of the car and they're moving at you, you don't know if they're trying to kill you or run away. That's why it's best to not even be in front of the car in the first place. And when I realized that, I said, you know what? This is new information, so I should probably update my take, and I realized that I rushed to conclusions, so I'm going to apologize. I'm going to issue a correction. And the response that I got from the right and the left on that showed me exactly why politicians will never say I made a mistake, will never say I got something wrong, and will always double down on what the original position is. Influencers too. Because, and this is not for those of you in the middle or on the right and the left who understood and respected the apology. This is for the rest of y'all. I had people on the right telling me that I caved and that I'm a coward. It's like, okay, well, my name is Kaizen. So if you haven't been paying attention and you don't expect me to ever update my views on things, we're not on the same wavelength at all. I had people telling me, oh, the only reason you're doing this is to pander to the liberal mob. Really? That's your theory of mind for what's going on here? The only thing that you can reconcile this correction with is the idea that I caved after a year and a half of posting about this stuff? How about I'm a growth-seeking human and I got new information, so I want to update what I'm saying, and I feel responsible for what I'm saying because I think people take it seriously. Like, what are we even doing? It's like, okay, if you want to think I'm a coward or I caved, that's fine. But take me out of it. Is what I said correct? Can two things be true at the same time? Could that woman have made a series of poor choices that put her life in danger? And it also be true that the cop in that split second made the wrong call and put himself in a position where he has to shoot in self-defense. Can two things be true at the same time? And what would it mean if two...
I got to stop it right there real quick. I didn't like that aspect of what he said. The first part I did like, but when he said that the cop made a poor choice of walking in front of the car to where he had to shoot, that's bullshit to me. But I just want to be very clear on that because I didn't want to play the rest of the 6 minutes or the rest of the 3 more minutes. I don't like that he said that part. Maybe he misspoke. I don't know, but I don't think that that's realistic. I don't think that the cop shooting prevented her, or like, I don't think the cop needed to shoot to get out of the way of the car. Just wanted to make that clear on my end. Glay, anything you want to say before we keep going?
Yeah. I didn't even really pick up that completely, but now that you say for sure. But I'm kind of liking the apology. I'm not really
everything.
Oh, okay. You fucked with this.
Oh, no. I love everything about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, man. I'm be like, I don't really know what.
No. Everything he's saying, I like, but I just don't like that little appeal that he made to where it's like, and he actually said it in front. Well, I don't like when you're trying to paint the picture that the cop had to shoot to avoid getting run over. I don't believe that. Now, to each their own. Cool, he may believe that. I think that that's a little bit of pandering to his audience, in my opinion. I don't think like you're shooting like you got enough coordination, actually very impressive, where he slid out of the way while actually going for his gun and holding his cell phone. Very impressed with the athleticism.
I mean, he already had that thing at that window. Remember, that joint was already out.
No, I'm talking about when he's saying before, like when she was hitting the gas, that's when he was pulling out the gun.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And he was moving out of the way. You're talking about afterwards when she was already he was already on the side of the car when he's shooting.
Yeah.
I think those were the last two shots for sure.
But I got an interesting take, but remind me at the end of this.
You wanted to go ahead?
Well, it's going to be better after.
Okay, better after. All right, I'll remind you.
That the cop in that split second made the wrong call and put himself in a position where he has to shoot in self-defense. Can two things be true at the same time? And what would it mean if two things were true at the same time? Well, I guess that would mean that both sides have a little bit of work to do, right?
Oh, that's what
because the left
about.
Shouldn't have protesters out obstructing law enforcement and getting in their face and insulting them with cameras in their face and inducing a situation where people are going to get emotional. Because, yeah, people are going to get hurt if you do that. And the right shouldn't be constantly agitating, posting hype raid Pokemon montage videos on Twitter constantly and using Sabrina Carpenter footage to make hype reels of illegal immigrants getting deported and gleefully celebrating the deportations. And of course, you know, as I expect, the left, they didn't accept my apology. Not that I was making the apology to be accepted by it. But it's like, okay, well, if you wonder why the right doesn't listen to you, that's the reason why too. Because what's the point? And you know, I had a really ugly thought cross my mind as I experienced all of this. Oh, I should just lie to all of you. I should just lie. I would certainly make more money. I could just be the black MAGA mouthpiece. I would be in the White House right next to President Trump right now. If I just lied and I said the same thing that people want me to say every single time they want me to say it. But I don't want to do that because it wouldn't sit right with me. And that's the reason I apologized. So if you're wondering why politicians don't tell the truth and never update their views, it's because we don't incentivize them to. And look, I know that I'm a little bit pissed off because it's a bit of a social media effect. And of course, the loudest fringes are always the ones that get the most visibility. And I also know that there's many of you who actually saw what I'm doing, who respect the correction and respect the integrity that takes. Because I gained nothing from that, okay? I demonetized those videos. I took down the links to donate to me. I didn't even make videos, money from the correction. But I got to be at peace with myself. And maybe I'm idealistic, but I got to model the kind of behavior that I would like to see from a leader. And for those of you, you know, I grew up in a household that had a lot of conflict growing up. And, you know, when mom and dad are fighting, eventually there's so many fights where as a kid, it doesn't even matter to you anymore what they're fighting over. You just want the fighting to stop, and you recognize that the way that they're going about their conflicts is the fundamental problem. And right now, mom and dad are fighting a lot. Mom is the Democrats, dad is the Republicans. I happen to agree more with dad. Right? That's just my own worldview. I happen to agree more with dad. I happen to think that dad is more right. But if mom and dad don't learn how to talk, there's going to be a divorce soon. And that's what's happening in America. And we can make it stop. We can learn to listen to each other. We can recognize that even if you're mostly correct, even if it's 90 to 10, you can still listen to the 10 from the other side.
Bro, this is one of my favorite videos that we've reviewed, actually. One of my favorite videos. You know what's wild? Even as I'm sitting here looking at this, and I may end up disagreeing with what I'm getting ready to say, but Renee Good probably represents a group of people that I probably despise their viewpoints and stances and political views. Yeah, viewpoints, not them as people, but their views on the world the most. She represents that. White liberal women, gay women, like, I think have been responsible, even when you look at the civil rights movement, pulling a lot of women out of the civil rights movement to go join the women's movement, to go join the feminist movement. But when I look at that situation, it doesn't matter. All that stuff goes out the window. I'm just looking at the situation, and I probably would align if I sat down with Renee Good and sat down with the ICE agent. I probably would see myself agreeing more with the ICE agent when it comes to a policy standpoint on America. I don't think that I would agree with them 100%. I mean, that's obvious, or maybe not even 80 or 90, whatever. But I find myself agreeing probably more from a policy standpoint with that ICE agent. When it comes to Renee Good, I don't know if I would agree with her on much of anything. And usually this is what determines how we watch a lot of these videos. Oh, I would agree with this person, so therefore, yeah, I'm just going to support them. I wouldn't agree with this type of person, so I'm not going to support them. We have to do exactly what he's saying and start looking at these situations with as little bias and as objective as possible, and just from a moral standpoint, a principled standpoint, and not look at it from a fan standpoint of who I like. This is not middle school and high school where you just agree with whoever you like the most. These are actually people's lives at stake. So I was just having that thought in my mind. And I think that, I don't know. Do you think that most people are able to just do that, you know, put their political views to the side and when they're reviewing a situation like this? Yeah. And what he said about mom and dad, I was very impressed with how he broke that down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely agree with dad more. Definitely agree with dad more.
Mm-hmm.
However, doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to what, you know, mom is saying, hear that out, and agree with certain points that mom is saying.
Man, I know that for a fact. People can't do that. You know how many podcasts me and you both have had about people showing tribalism to a particular gender when you call out certain things that they know are reframing or restraining them from being able to obtain the things that they want in life, like relationships, a good man or a good woman. Like when you talk about the gender wars, it's the same stuff. Like you find people just focused on like whatever they align with. So it's just like, even in just simple discussions, people just can't really do that. They don't be doing it. And if they can, they just choose not to do it. I don't know what the feeling and the emotion that an individual get. I'm not going to say it's easy to be able to just be like, damn, you know what? Fuck, you know what? I was fucking wrong, bro. I'm tripping. I'm not saying that's the easiest thing in the world, but I'm thinking like when we start talking about lives here, I'm definitely thinking it's necessary.
Yeah. And it's a relief, yo. Like when you have to look at a situation and do all the work of figuring out, looking around like, okay, how are my people responding? How are the Democrats responding? How are the Republicans responding? Okay, this is what I need. This is how I need to respond because this is what my team is responding as. Okay, now how do I connect the dots and try to make it make sense and make it appealing to where it's like, oh, okay, this is the reasoning behind why I'm supporting this. Yo, it's a lot easier to just say, let me just look at the situation, not take into consideration what people may think about it, and just evaluate the situation for the situation. Let me look at this policy. I don't need to understand. I don't need to know whether or not it's Democrat or Republican. Let me just look at the policy. Maybe we should change it up to that. Maybe we shouldn't even, I don't even know. Maybe we just need a manager instead of a CEO as president. Maybe we just need a manager or something like that, because really, maybe we should just be voting on policies. Maybe we should just all, when it comes to elections, just get a sheet of paper and just vote based on policies. Hey, okay, this is going to be the policy. This is going to be the policy. This is going to be the policy. Maybe we should just vote on that. The same way that when we vote for presidents, you go in there, and I know like in Florida, what was a big one? Like, okay, can you, are we going to legalize marijuana? It's simple. You just vote for it. You vote for the actual policy. You don't vote for the person to put in office and then they're going to determine whether or not they do it. No, you just vote for the policy. Maybe we should figure out how to implement more of that into politics, because that will simplify a lot of this stuff. Do you think boys should be playing sports against girls? No. You get what I'm saying? Like, it'll just simplify a lot of this stuff rather than just voting for gang leaders.
Yeah, I don't think they want that. Well, we know they don't want that. We know that people will be, they'll just ride with, you know, a situation. They'll look past the situation, et cetera, et cetera. And to get to that point that I was talking about earlier, when I watched that video of what happened to her, there's somebody that we did not speak about in that video. I almost want you to pull that video up, or at least go to the
one.
Or at least
if you tell me which person, then that may determine which video.
Here, just rewind in this video. Rewind back to when they showed the small clip of him walking around the thing. There's a third variable in this situation, guys, that I had a long, drawn out talk about. And I'm interested to hear y'all's take on it because I know where my stance is. Right here. Okay, that was good. Right there should be good. Get a little bit further. Yeah.
Crossed in front of the vehicle as the vehicle was moving.
Now go back to the beginning of that clip, Glay. Just right there. A little bit further. And just pause it. Man, just pause it. Yeah, right there. Just leave it.
All right.
When that cop was doing that orbit around that car, you're going to tell me that Renee, if her dumb ass wife was in the fucking car, that she wouldn't have just took off already. Her wife got out the car and escalated that situation, not justifying what that cop did, but the wife got out that car and felt the need to take a situation that Renee didn't want to get out the car for. She right there had the opportunity to stay in that car and say, let's get out of here. But she decided to want to jump out the car and turn shit up, getting in the way of the car leaving to begin with, but also escalating the situation, allowing him to orbit the car and getting into that situation. I'm not saying that it's excusable by what he did, but I am disappointed that somebody who could have had the opportunity to sit in that car and not come out with your phone and do all the extra antics that you're doing right there, and as soon as they started pull up on the car, you try to run back to the car where you shouldn't have left to begin with, and then you look like you shook. That woman had an opportunity to tell Renee, let's get out of here. She chose to jump out the car and think she was invincible, and I think that contributed to this conflict that we saw.
Oh, let me be extremely clear. Both of them acted like idiots. Let me be extremely clear on that. Now, does acting like an idiot mean that you get shot in the face? No. Not in this situation, in my opinion. Doesn't seem justified. But let me be very clear. They acted like idiots. If you even hear the audio behind a lot of the situation when it was occurring, it makes me like cringe because it's just like, yo, y'all need to like stop talking and just you listen to a cop. This showed a whole lot of privilege. Clearly, you did not grow up with having a conversation where your dad sits you down and says, hey, you do not talk back to a cop. You comply. If cop tells you to do something, it doesn't matter if it's wrong. You deal with that later. You do not confront the situation when somebody has a gun. So that's a very clear situation. So if I haven't been clear on that, let me be extremely clear on that right now. You don't put yourself in this type of position, period.
You get out of there.
And this is what I said about all this protesting. This is why I said the other day, I'm not with all this protesting. It's people, all this goofy protesting and stuff. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything but just cause a whole bunch of chaos. You want to protest something, go become successful, put some money behind a particular policy or something like that. Put a super PAC together. You want to change something, do what the LGBTQ community does, how they bullied all these politicians. Put that super PAC together. You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit wasn't on protest.
All of these rallies and all this goofy stuff, bro, stay in the house. It's not creating anything but putting people in violent situations. And now you're protesting law enforcement. It's like, do you really think that that's like, how do you protest somebody with a gun? Like, I'm protesting you. Yeah, well, I have a gun. So how far do you think this is going to go? You get what I'm saying? It's just stupid. You're trying to, even with them blocking, or I'm hearing about certain people doing stuff, blocking traffic. All of these protests that they're doing are dumb as hell, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I took a lot of my because I took a lot of my perspective on that situation. It didn't change what I definitively believe in, that was way over the top, unnecessary, and he handled that accordingly. But when I started learning more about, people were blocking vehicles from going down certain streets, people were intentionally getting in the way, et cetera, then because I was wondering, like, damn, why did the cop run up on her car with all the energy? Like, damn, you act like you know her, like she got some of your shit. And then I realized, oh shit, when you started getting other views, you started realizing, oh, this was a thing that these people were complaining about. Like the ICE agents was like, yo, y'all keep blocking the way. You can't be doing that. So their energy was already on 10. And then when she get out the car, the not Renee, but the other one talking about some, you need to go get some lunch, big boy. Like, I don't know where you come from. We don't have that type of privilege where I'm come from. You can't talk that shit unless you're ready to go there with somebody. When we see cops coming, we run the other way. When certain people see cops coming, they run towards them. And that's the difference where I'm just like, see, I don't think you have to be freaking a scientist to know that pulling up and pressing anybody who has a known lineage of not always handling situations ethically wouldn't be the best thing to do. You can get your little shit off and get back on the street if that's what you want to be on. But y'all take it to a place where y'all are backing up traffic. Y'all are blocking cars. You got these motherfuckers turned out of their max. These ain't the most calm, logical people in the world with masks on. I don't think these guys are just I don't think these guys are monks. And so you keep provoking, and these situations get to this place, and I'm just like, damn, y'all couldn't just stay in the fucking car and leave? Just go, my nigga. Like, damn. But it's just like you get in these situations. So he's still a clown for what he did. Ain't getting off of that. He's still clown. He the what is it? He the donkey of the day to me.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, ladies, this is the privilege we talking about. In what world do I step up as a man? In what world does a man step up to another man and tell him, you can't do shit to me, and not expect him to show me how he can? This is the type of privilege that I don't like. I don't like when, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go there. This is what the energy I don't like in general with women. When you see women provoking guys, they be at the, like when you see these clips of in the face and at the bar and stuff like that, I'm like, dog, like, you can't see him. Like, why are you trying to get in a fight with a grown man? Because you know that's privilege.
Mm-hmm.
You're running that play. And so when I saw this situation of the girl with the boots on and the flannel, I'm like, why are you running that play? You know, pound for pound, you're not going against this man. Just chill out, bro. You ain't got to do all that. Like, we don't think you hot. We don't think you lit for that. Like, I don't think it's necessarily the play, but either way, the not only was she a coward in the situation, but as a man, as a police officer, I think I looked at him to resolve a situation that clearly people were being overly emotional. I would have wanted him to take some type of discernment and handle that in a way where everybody could make it home safely. And I think he lost character, which is unexcusable when you take that code of ethics to protect and serve. You have to be able to diffuse situations. Unfortunately, you can't respond like she responds. You can't be emotional. You can't be like the woman in this video. You have to, at all times, you have to, because if you don't, somebody's not going home to their children. And that's the type of responsibility that I put on that cop. When you put on that badge, bro, you get that. You have to be okay with being a leader. I'm tired of people cowarding and taking leadership positions, presidents, police officers, sergeants, doctors, always okay with wearing a coat, wearing a badge, wearing the flag. But whenever it comes with being accountable, what comes with that shit? Oh my God, it wasn't me. And then you got all these little phony people want to back this shit up and say, well, I didn't know. Well, you know, you don't know what kind of situation it is. No, a true leader accepts what comes with making a mistake, period. There ain't no ands, ifs, or but about it. And if you don't know that, then you haven't been a leader in an important position before. I ain't talking about the manager at your job. I'm talking about where lives are at hand, where championships are at hand, where war is at hand. Guys, you have to be okay with taking accountability. Leadership positions aren't for everybody. But the few that it are for understand that cardinal rule, and it's never going to change, and it never should change. And we're not going to allow that to be a situation where you think, oh, well, his situation. No. In a leadership position, you accept what comes with it on your watch, on your accord. We look at the president and we hold him accountable for all the things that are happening. Then I want you to do the same thing. Don't tell me about I'm not sure he got just dragged a couple minutes ago. No, you give Trump that grace then. Give Trump, get everybody the grace then. Give presidents. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know the pressure it is. You don't know what when you're getting compromised by Israel. You don't know any of those things. But we expect them to make decisions. Everybody tells you to be yourself in life, right? Until you get on the internet. Then they tell you to be like them. So it is what it is. He took an oath, and you got to be responsible for that. He has an opportunity to fuse that situation or keep it where it's at. And that's where I wanted him to take that ownership. But it didn't turn out like that. And you know, it is one of it. But that was a different take that I wanted to come back on and kind of not necessarily, I'm not really taking back what I said before, but I'm giving some more information about what I was able to pick up on it. I still stand where I stand, but I do also realize that there was a lot of provoking going on in general with this Minneapolis thing that is still continuing to this day, that, like you're saying, it's a waste of time. Y'all not making no changes with that shit. Cut it out.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's in this situation, it does bring out a lot of different, there's a lot of different, there's interesting dynamics to this that bring up a lot of issues that we talk about or suffer from in this society. You know, there's a lot of it. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. And this is the thing. I think this is what the gentleman is talking about. Like, we need to be able to be critical of everything. Like, don't look at, I'm only able to criticize this side. I'm only able to criticize that. No, we need to be critical of everything. That's why on this page, that's why on this channel, we come on and y'all hear me critical of Trump. It's not in my best interest to stand up here and be critical of Trump, because as I'm critical for Trump, I'm making myself look dumb for voting for him. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm just looking at the situation. I don't care. If we're not willing to just look at things like that, then we're always going to just be in this cycle that never elevates. Like, it's just going to be a cycle staying in the same place. Like, if we're going to run a cycle, let's actually move upwards at least. But yeah, it's interesting. All right, let's move on. I think we have a couple other videos. Let me see if we wanted to. You know what I actually want to talk about? There was a couple videos on that I didn't watch yet, but have you heard about these college kids shaving points? We don't have to get into that. Maybe that doesn't really.
Shaving points about what?
College athletes got caught shaving points in games.
Oh, on some NBA shit?
Yeah.
Yo, so compromise, nigga. That's my word of the year, bro. Compromise.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even. So we have that, but maybe we'll finish it off with Mama Lay sent over a cool video. Hold on, let me actually, before we get into that other video, let's play this video. So let's take a look at this real quick. Do I want to talk about this? Do we want to talk about this? Let me pull it up on the screen. Do we want to talk about this, Glay?
I had something too, Glay. I think I might have forgot to send you, but I started.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, you did send over a couple things.
Yeah.
I have them up here. Hold on.
Yeah, shaving points. Yeah, Abu Han. I think from what Dak's saying, he's saying that that light bright. Hold on now.
What's that?
No, the light on my joint.
Yeah. If you want to review some of those videos that you sent over. Or?
Okay, yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, which one?
You pick. I just be trying to give you a little jackpot. You feel me? A little something for you to, couple Tootsie Rolls in there, some corn, Tootsie Rolls. You know when you go to Halloween, you got a little bag of goodies you can dig your hand in. Bubble gum, get you a little mint, Andes.
Well, you actually sent something that's not a a video, but I wasn't aware of this. I wasn't aware of this. Is it on the screen?
Yes, I seen that, bro.
I wasn't aware of that. With the Clintons refusing to testify about Epstein. Is this a fact? Let me read this real quick.
I never know if it's a fact. I be thinking Forbes be legit though. I ain't gonna hold you.
All right, so let's see. Former President Bill Clinton and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will not comply with House subpoenas to testify about Jeffrey Epstein. They wrote in a letter to the House Oversight Committee inviting Republicans to try and hold them in contempt and teeing up a major legal battle over whether the couple can be punished. The Clintons have argued the subpoenas against them are invalid and legally unenforceable because they're not for a valid legislative purpose and do not seek pertinent information. I mean, doesn't that kind of say everything? If you're not willing to, you don't want to help get to the bottom of this. If you have, clearly you was around this man a lot. You don't think that you can provide some information that can, I mean, I don't really have much more to say on that.
Compromised.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Let me actually, hold on. Let me actually
I'm going.
I want to let's just move. Let's play this last video from Mama Lay real quick. I'm over it. Like I was gonna play something on this Israel topic, you know, with the history. Matter of fact, yeah, forget that. We standing on it. All right, we're gonna play this. Hold on. Forget it. I was getting ready to be lazy. My apologies. All right, so take a look at this video. Take a look at this video. You guys let me know your thoughts. But I'm interested in it more so from a space of history and how we look at history and understanding and who writes history. Take a look at this video.
Generation of young people won't remember October 7th in the same way. That's true in Israel and in America and broadly in the world. And we need to make sure two things. One, it's not that we don't forget. We need to make sure that the story is told properly so that when the history books write this, they don't write about the victims of Gaza, right? They can't, the history, and it's, I should be a little more precise. There were victims in Gaza, right? It's true. There are civilian casualties in every war that's ever been fought, but the victims were the people of the nation state of Israel. Though that the aggressor was the Iranian regime in the proxy of Hamas, and we need to make sure that the history books reflect that, and that requires each of us every day to talk about it in real time with our children, with our grandchildren, about it in a way that is serious and thoughtful and complete and moral. The next generation of...
Nick, what? What did he just say? You gotta run that back, Glay.
Run it back.
And stop where you know I want you to stop.
Just give me the give me the little
of young people won't remember.
Hold on.
The next generation of young people won't remember October 7th in the same way. That's true in Israel and in America and broadly in the world. And we need to make sure two things. One, it's not that we don't forget. We need to make sure that the story is told properly so that when the history books write this, they don't write about the victims of Gaza, right? They can't, the history, and it's, I should be a little more precise. There were...
You may want to, if he finishes this part, it may elaborate your point more. It may emphasize your point a little bit more. I'm sorry. Hold on.
There were victims in Gaza, right?
Oh, listen.
I should be a little more precise. There were victims in Gaza, right? It's true. There are civilian casualties in every war that's ever been fought, but the victims were the people of the nation state of Israel.
Yo, it's these people, I'm gonna be honest, man. People like this, these people, you hear me? You know where the tone of that's going. Somebody start with that. These people. This makes you question everything that we've read in history books, bro. And think about to the Elon energy. Remember that post I put up yesterday with Elon?
Mm-hmm.
And him saying about Americans being taught that this land was taken from people because it was. You know what I'm saying? He said there were victims in Gaza. But let me be specific. Those victims were the Israelis. This is...
That's a different.
I don't even know if this is the radical voice of Israel. I don't know. And the reason why I say I don't know if this is a radical opinion, because I don't hear a lot of the other voices. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about, oh, this is just more a radical approach, you know, this is a radical part of the Democratic Party, or these are a radical portion of the Republicans. I don't know if this is a radical voice when it comes to Israel. I don't even know if this is a radical voice when it comes to Jewish culture. I don't know. I don't really see too many outside of the rabbis that we've played. Yes, a lot of maybe the rabbis calling it out. I don't really see a lot of other people doing it. You know, the Dave Smiths, the Max Blumenthals, those type of people, the Glenn Greenwald, they call it out and they get called self-hating Jews or something. That's what they get called. So if the history books, and what's crazy about it is what he's saying is probably going to happen. And especially it would happen if there wasn't any social media. But now, even with social media, you heard what the Meta lady said. Depending on how you're presenting this information, then we're going to take down and censor a lot of your videos. This man just sat up here and said that there were no Palestinian victims. Yeah, there were civilian casualties, but the victims were the Israelis.
I'm speechless. I actually have nothing to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the box breathing today, Glenn.
Yeah. Well, we got something right before the box breathing. We do have something right before the box breathing.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
Did you see Floyd Mayweather giving Miriam Adelson that chain?
Nah.
Yeah, I was disgusted, man. I can't rock with Floyd Mayweather no more, man. That's one of my favorite damn athletes, man.
Compromised.
Yeah, just compromised, bro. Just completely compromised.
Compromised.
Yeah, compromised. That's the best. Yeah, everybody's compromised.
Yeah.
You start telling people when they get, you're compromised.
Oh, you compromised.
Oh, my bad. You should have just said that from the jump. We wouldn't even have had the back and forth. You're compromised.
Yeah. Compromised allows me to put my mindset in the space where I am prepared for you to say some stupid ass shit that goes along with the crew that you hang with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it prepares for me. When we identify these individuals as compromised, you guys can prepare yourselves that he gonna say something that's gonna violate somebody else in order to have some type of political gain or financial gain. It's like when we say it's just political or it's just business. Oh, he's compromised. All in the same.
All right, so
what is this big goofy doing?
Who we got on here?
Oh,
Who you talking about?
Oh, no. You said Mayweather. I was like, well, let me see what this big goofy
Oh,
doing.
no. We're not even going to get that any attention. So this is the video. And I think Unc said he's sending one over. If we don't get it in time, Unc, no worries. We'll play it on Monday. But we'll play this video. Mama Lay sent this over. So let's check this out.
Okay, I need you to know this. The universe is always trying to wake you up to the fact that you are the powerful creator of your reality. It just doesn't always do it in a way that most people expect. Sometimes the universe actually uses misalignment to guide you back into alignment, because life is always trying to move you towards the most aligned version of yourself, the version of you that you are meant to become so you can experience the extraordinary life that your soul came here for. But it does that through contrast, because we live on a planet of polarity. We know up because we know down. We know there's hot because there's cold. We know light because there's dark. Contrast is what creates experience. And in the same way, sometimes the only way to truly know what alignment feels like is to know what misalignment feels like. And let's be honest, misalignment feels like crap. Alignment is the natural flow of energy. It's what feels inevitable. It feels right. It feels clear. It feels like it's lighting you up. It gives you energy, even if sometimes it feels challenging. Misalignment, on the other hand, feels like you are swimming upstream, like you're forcing, you're struggling, it's frustrating, there's distortion, it's heavy, it's draining. It's like you're banging your head against the same problems over and over again. And when you feel that, it is information. It means that you are operating against your divine nature, out of alignment with your soul's frequency, not in your power. There's something that you're doing out of fear or out of conditioning or out of a habit or who you thought you needed to be. And that is life trying to show you where your truth actually is. It's literally reflecting that wonky energy back to you and giving you the opportunity to decide. Do you really want this? Or are you going to step in your power and create what you actually desire through alignment? So when you feel like you're swimming upstream and you're not getting the results or the experiences you want, the question isn't to ask yourself, why does this feel so hard? It's to ask, what is this trying to realign me to? Because misalignment isn't a failure, it's actually just a signal. And the moment you listen to it and realign, you start to flow with the frequency of the universe once again. Okay, I need you to know.
And even as I'm listening to it again, I kind of got a new meaning to it. And I think this is where the balance comes into play. This is where the balance comes into play, because I understand 100% what she's saying, like getting into your flow, us understanding, like when we just do a deeper, let's say meditation, like sometimes when we're doing our breath work, understanding why, like leaning into what necessarily, I hate to use it, this word feels good, because I don't necessarily always think that that's what, I don't think it's about feeling good. And I'm not saying that that's what she's saying, but I think it's about us just understanding what you said, Glay. We know what's right. At the end of the day, we know. And I don't think that it's actually in this society going to always feel like a flow. I don't think that it's always going to feel easy. And I don't want, for me, y'all to think that that's my takeaway from this. But it's almost like when I'm living in my purpose and when I'm focusing on the things that I know I need to focus on, even if it's hard, I still understand that I'm on the right course. I'm on the right path. I'm living in my purpose. So actually going the easier route in a lot of ways, to me, is where the misalignment comes from me. Now, it's going to be different for everybody. And when I say that is, we could always do the easy things. We've seen a lot of we watch videos on people choosing the quote unquote easier path all the time, rather than being the one that's going to step up and maybe accept or receive the criticism from one particular group or another. I think it's easier in a lot of ways to just, hey, what's my group doing? Oh, my group is saying F Renee Good. All right, then I'm gonna say F Renee Good. Oh, my group is saying F the ice. Then I'm gonna say F ice. But I think when we're living in our purpose, when we're focusing on what we know internally as what's right, I think that that's always going to lead us to a place that, I don't know, fuels us in a way that's just totally different than us just doing what everybody else is doing. So I think it's going to be different for everybody. I want to be in that flow, you know what I'm saying? But just because I'm in that flow and aligned with the right energy, I understand that that's going to be a whole lot of hard work, maybe a whole bunch of difficult tasks, overcoming a whole bunch of tough challenges, rather than just taking the road that's already paved. I want to take the road the path that is not as much traveled, or what's the path that's least traveled, whatever the saying is. So I think there's just a lot of thoughts that come to mind when I see that video. And even when I watched it a second time, it's kind of like I'm getting a different reaction, but it's still reminding me to do the very same things. So, yeah, I think that's what led to this question that we asked on the title of the show. You know, this life that we're living, it's a test. This life that we're living, it's a test. We're getting graded. We're getting graded the entire time. We're getting graded and I don't know how, you know, whether or not, you know, it's not a graduation, or maybe it's not a graduation. Maybe it is for a lot of y'all, Judgment Day. You know, maybe you could look at it like that. That helps us to make sure that we're staying on point with evaluating ourselves. But all of this stuff that we do, man, at some point, I think we're going to have to answer for it. I do believe that. So it's just a constant reminder of, even though we may be making the right decisions that are aligned with our purpose, that are aligned with our morals, principles, and values, even though it may not feel good in the moment, I think overall that's what's going to make us the individuals that we're striving to be, as we try to maximize our potential and just be decent human beings. And I think that's also what's going to be good for humanity overall. So those are just kind of my thoughts about that. You have anything that stands out?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm still on that last damn video.
It's all good. It's all good. Now this was a tough one, but I watched this and it just yeah.
But I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm seeing what you're putting down.
Yeah, just wanted to share it.
Making sense.
Just wanted to share it. So let's actually hold up 1 second. Oh, some people were saying that they couldn't hear the video.
Oh, where's that? That's in the comments. Damn, they didn't hear it.
Oh, my mom. Hold up. Hey, my mom just texted me. She said some people were saying they couldn't hear the video. No, it's exactly what you said and what Abuhan. So it's like that last video got me so heated. I didn't hear a word this lady said. Your mom said the same thing you said. My mom took it literally. She's texting me. She's like, "Yo, I don't think they heard the video." You know, nah, it's all good. It's all good. Let's continue this alignment conversation, and maybe when we're doing some of our breath work, we can figure out what's for us. You know, figure out what's for you. Figure out what's the impact. Like, think about that, but maybe before we do the breath work, you know, what's the impact that we want to make on this world? You know, not just for a legacy or something to pass down, but something while we're here. What is the impact? What is the change that we want to be? What do we want to be aligned with? You know, do we want to just go along with the rest of the sheep, or do we want to be the person that's maybe, you know, turning the ship in a different direction? Because I think we need more mindsets like that, more free thinkers, independent thinkers, rather than just people that are just gang banging with their political party or whatever other group they decide to align with. So with that, y'all all know who has the box breathing today. Because
it's not a trend.
Now, hold up.
That's not a trend, bro.
Oh, man. All right. So shout out to our big bro, Steve. We got our box breathing that he introduced to us today, and with our box breathing technique. And make sure that you like. And for those that haven't done the box breathing, I think everybody has. But we definitely lean into this. This is a very important part of the show in which we're, spending some time focusing on our breathing, meditating, kind of just being, I forget the biblical scripture that talks about this, but just being still and allowing ourselves to just get in that deep thought, meditation, manifest some things in our life, figure out what we're aligned with, what we don't want to align with as we go through this process. So we're going to do a 4-second inhale in which we're focusing on inhaling positive energy. Then we're going to do a 4-second hold. Then we're going to do a 4-second release in which we're exhaling and releasing all the negative limiting energy that we may have, all the things that are holding us back, the negative thoughts, whatever it may be. We're going to release that, and then we're going to hold for another 4 seconds, and then we're going to repeat that 3 more times for a total of 4 cycles. So if you're in a safe place, close your eyes. If you choose to do so, I'm going to be closing my eyes. I think it just hits a little different that way, but to each their own. So we're going to begin with a 4-second inhale that is intentionally focused on inhaling positive energy. Ready? Begin. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Keep holding. We're getting ready to go through our last cycle, so be very intentional with this next inhale. Inhaling positive energy. Ready, begin. Hold. Keep holding. And then we're going to do that last cleanse, releasing that last bit of negative energy that we have built up. Release it now. Hold. All right. Y'all know we come here to do, man. Elevate on purpose, man. Both from an intentional standpoint as well as challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become and to grow and develop into the people we need to develop into in order to attain and go after these audacious goals that we set for ourselves. All right. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Let's get to the bag. What is the bag? The bag is focusing on the overall impact that we're going to make on this world that we like to call our personal legend. You know, as we're living in our purpose, striving for purposeful abundance, we want to make sure that we're on the most efficient trajectory in order to get there. All right. Time is limited in this world. So let's make sure that we're maximizing our potential and maximizing what we do on this earth and the impact that we make with amongst our family, our friends, our village. It doesn't always have to be on a global or political scale, but sometimes it's just in some of our personal relationships. So the things that I like to focus on that are in my bag: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and integrity in everything we do. And we always add that balance. And Glay is giving that little salt bay, that little perspective, that perspective, sprinkling that perspective on there to complete the stew. So on that note, Glay, I don't know if anybody in the chat, I'm sure we got some wise words from the folk, but I'll let you finish it off. Yeah, man. So today was a dope show. We talked about Renee Good, you know, and trying to be good because, you know, that's what's good. And we standing on business as we always do. We building a community of people ready to slide. Like, because if you ain't ready to slide, then what you really doing out here? You feel me? So, Glay, you know, I'm just going to lead the people with, you know, figure out what you want to do in this life and apply yourself, man. Nobody's here to baby feed you. Nobody's here to walk you through it. Figure it out yourself. We're not making any excuses. So with that, have a good weekend. I mean, let me see what people wrote. You know, Steve said, feeling great, ready to surge forward. Have an amazing weekend, everyone. Be the change you want to see in this world. It starts with us. What did Unc write? Today was a very good show. Appreciate you, Unc. Nephew and DK. Just like every day, I enjoyed it. Watch the video. We'll talk about it Monday. Okay, yeah, we definitely gonna do that. Finn wrote, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, y'all know who that is by now.
Know what it is.
Like, come on, bro. Like, we don't really, this is not that complicated. Like, we have these conversations, but at the end of the day, people know, bro. These niggas know.
These niggas know. Are you gonna spin? Yeah. Come on, bro.
Oh man, bro.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Glay, bro. Yeah.
Is you gonna spin? Yeah.
If you gonna spin, is you gonna spin though?
You gonna spin, bro. Golly.
Got me spitting and stuff. All right, man. Y'all enjoy it, man. Dope week, man. This probably was my favorite week of shows, Glay.
That was good. I mean, this is the first week or this is the second week of the month?
This is the second week. Second week. Yeah,
second
full week. Second full week. Yeah. Creeping on the third. Yeah, second full week.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a good week. We definitely hit a lot of topics of discussion. We're continuing to elevate our perspective and our understanding and, handle things logically. I think we also have identified now what looks like compromised. What looks compromised, who is compromised, what they sound like. We're getting in these fucking backwards arguments and realizing in 2026, in hindsight, motherfuckers already knew what this shit was. They knew the answer. They knew it had side effects, bro. They just didn't care. They picked that side because they're tribalistic. They want to affiliate with a particular group because that's where their identity lays. And see, when you're dealing with some real ones like these two ones right here on the screen, we don't identify with not a thing, my nigga.
Press the button.
Yeah. We don't identify with not a motherfucking thing, bro. We identify with just being good humans, and we go operate like that. No judgment, no none of that. We don't need to be affiliated with nothing, no one, no higher, no lower, no political, no nothing. We stand on whatever we believe on. And, it seems so wild in this day and age to even be like that. When you're not affiliated with some people think something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We want everybody to exist, regardless of your beliefs. If it's religion, if you like, whatever it may be, like that's not really our MO. At the end of the day, our focus is to continue to bring shit back to the sandbox. Y'all know how to act. Y'all know how to put on for your parents. If your parents were watching, you know how to make sure they looking at you and they be proud of what you're doing and what you're saying. Y'all acting a little wild. And so when the teacher left, we just stepped up and decided to become the voice once the teachers left. And so we just calling out shit. We don't think we better. We just want everybody to be equally as better, if not better than what they think they can be. And so that's all we're establishing here. And in these weeks, these talks, these conversations, we're going to encourage y'all to continue to expand our community for us. We're going to continue to, share these on your Facebook platforms or on your WhatsApp or text your groups or your friends groups or tell people to tap in, chime in, because we want to continue to grow this community because we do know it's important that we not only get this message to just y'all, but others. There are other people yearning and seeking this type of I won't say leadership, but this type of camaraderie, this type of community where everybody's an equal, everybody respects each other, difference of opinions doesn't matter, things of that nature. People are looking for something like this because they can't lean into their politicians, depending on what church, which y'all told me last week, they may not be able to depend on their church. So there are a lot of places where people can't fall in. They may not be in an environment where they have this type of reinforcement. So that's the luxury of the internet. That's the loveliness of social media, is when you use it for good, it's actually an amazing thing. And so that's what we're going to focus on doing. So obviously we appreciate all you guys tapping in, joining in, and helping me and Dak become even better communicators than we were the day before. Because to us, we're noticing how important it is to not only lead by your exact examples, like Dak said in college, but also lead with your voice. And if you can combine both of those two together, you a dangerous, dangerous motherfucker. That's all I got.
Clay, I saw some fire emojis in there. Once I find those, we out of here.
All right.
Appreciate y'all, man. See y'all on Monday.